Hi, I have been out for a while. I'm sorry, I was actually under the weather, and you just can't get around to creating content. So I'm back, almost 100%. I wasn't well, and I just wanted to discuss this issue with the bird season when it says NEPA slammed for not suspending bird shooting in Jamaica, especially when we just had a hurricane in some of these parishes. But I have to give you my 2 cents. Now, I have been bird hunting from I was quite young. My father used to take me, and I involved in, going on my own, getting my own permits, and then starting to take my son. And I think it's one of the most exciting experiences for a father to take either his son or his daughter. You know, you go into the bush, you not just hunt, but you hunt safely. You hunt with permits, and you hunt and abide by the law. And it's a more not just about shooting the birds, but it's more about the being together, the cooking in the bush, the getting to know the people around you, you know, being with the guys that help you and they come from the area, they come from that community, they protect you, they walk with you. I mean, when my son was young, they used to lift him up across the mud and take him into the stand. And these guys grew up with us and grew up with my child and still at this age today still communicate. And that's one. Two, the bird shooting industry brings so much to the communities. Now, just think about it. Thousands of shooters need to go, they buy their shots, they go and they put gas in their cars, so they go to gas stations, they buy what they need, ice and food and drinks and bully beef and sausage and everything that they need, and they head out to usually an area like, say, Treasure Beach or St. Elizabeth. And then they have to accommodate. They need accommodation, so they go into the hotels and the guest houses. That's also creating income again for these slow times because August, September is usually slow for tourism. It also brings people from abroad to come into Jamaica and get special hunting license to hunt. So that also increases our tourism revenue. Then they get up in the morning and they pick up their guys who help them in the bush. And they pay them. And they pay them 3 times for the day. They pay them in the morning, they pay them in the evening, and they pay them again in the morning. And these are usually young fellows, anywhere from 12 to up to men that come out and they help and they pick up the birds and they pick the birds and they got the birds and they work and they're there to help you. And they get paid. And they get paid good. And that money goes back to helping them to put their children through school or helping that child to buy stuff that he needs for school. And then we go to the bars and we stop and we buy bun and we buy cheese and we buy drinks and we support the communities. And then a lot of us do cook-ups in the bush and we give back and we cook up the birds and we cook fish and we cook yam and we cook breadfruit and we feed them as well. And it's an ongoing thing that I've been doing for many years, and I haven't done it in a few years because from COVID I stopped and my son went to school, so I didn't feel the urge for it. But I went back as an invited guest on the second weekend of this season, and I didn't go to shoot, I just went as an invited guest. And I saw the love and the attention of the boys around the shooters and, the whole camaraderie and everybody gets to have a drink and eat and cook up in the bush and support back the kids and give them that money that they looked forward to, because where are they going to get it from? Especially when a hurricane just passed. So that helps them to go back home and feed their family and take care of getting ready for school. And it's an ongoing thing. So my personal 2 cents is it's not bad, it's good. It helps the economy to grow over a slow time. I think we have about 3,000 shooters out there. They go to different parts of Jamaica. Some are in gun clubs, some are not in gun clubs. And even the gun clubs have, 40, 50 people waiting to go with the shooters to help them to pick up, to pick the birds, and they get money, they get food, they get lunch, they get breakfast, they get drinks. And they look forward to it. I don't know anybody that don't look forward to it. Every year, I used to take the same people over and over again, and then I took their family, and then their friends came, and that's what I remember about bird shooting, and especially with my dad and my family, and getting up early in the morning and making breakfast and heading out together and, sharing what you have. So it's not a bad thing. I don't think NEPA should have suspended it. I think it was a good time to have it, because without it, people would have starved more. They wouldn't have been able to send their kids back to school. Yes, the birds got displaced all over the place, but we have more birds than we ever had before, I see. We have baldpates coming in from other countries that were lost and came into Jamaica. So we have more birds coming from other countries like Cuba and other countries. And it also feeds people, because they take home the birds, they freeze them, and they cook them. And they have them with rice, and they have them with beans, and they have them with breadfruit, and they eat for weeks and feed their family. So I think it's a good thing. I think hunting in Jamaica, it's always around August. It goes, I think, for 6 weeks. You have to have a license to shoot. You have to have a hunter's permit. NEPA has to provide you with that permit. You have to write down how much you shot for the day, for the morning, and keep track of it so they can keep track of the birds. And it's quite a fun sport. And, that's just my 2 cents. I'm not slamming NEPA this time. I think it was a good move, even though some people said it wasn't. And that's just my 2 cents of hunting and bird shooting in Jamaica.